Hello, we're going to talk about the targeting of college students around the country. This is something that has been going on for a while. It's no surprise that college kids are the best subjects for mind control and brainwashing tactics. If you look at a lot of the cults, you'll see a lot of the members are around 18 to 25 roughly. That is by no accident. Most at that age are seeking knowledge and are more open to it. Their minds and sense of identity are still forming. It isn't until age 25 that the critical parts of the brain are formed, like that of decision making. And of course, we're talking about the prefrontal cortex. This really makes them vulnerable to mind control and the forming of altered personalities in them. Though just about anyone and everyone can be victims of mind control, there is a bit of a weeding out process, so it's a bit easier on us programmers. When I used to work for the agency, that is something we did. We used to visit the different college universities and campuses and offer these classes under the context of like positive thinking, human growth, and so on. We would exploit their innate curiosity and their need for self-improvement. Our classes were so popular, we would have to cap off the number of attendees. One of our best classes we taught was on how to read minds. That is a very strong desire most people have, whether or not they want to admit it or not. That also is a pretty popular subject within that age group. We just taught them the basics of neuro-linguistic programming along with some of the current New Age philosophies. They really aided up to not knowing the real reasons we were teaching those classes. If they would have known our true reasons for teaching these classes, they would have run the other way and just kept going to in utter terror. As operators, or those that do mind control or brainwashing, there are certain types of people we look for, which is no surprise. It is the same type that cult leaders look for. We are looking for the outcasts, the loners, and those that really identify with the victim mentality. These types also tend to be incidentally highly suggestible too, which is what we like, of course. So once we narrowed down our choices, we would begin to do individual work with them. We did a lot of the same techniques that I explained in my video on Jack, on how an altered personality was installed in him. There are lots of other aspects too involved. Those within this age range are usually highly motivated to wanting to make a change in the world for the better around them. Also, there is still a bit of a rebellious streak in them as well. And that's something that we, of course, exploit to the fullest. We really, like you would suspect, put a we versus them mentality in them, and we really ingrain and install that. It would be at this time that we would start the disassociation process within them. You see, we are all born with a set of values, whether they're good or bad, that's not the point. Our goal was to replace the values that they grew up with the values of whatever it was needed for whatever missions they were being programmed to do. We would have them cut off ties with their loved ones and friends by making them look like the enemy. That's a very common tactic. A lot of times myself or another agent would, through some covert means, instigate trouble within their inner circles, which surprisingly isn't that hard to do. One of the easiest methods was just to start a rumor. At that age, too, reputation is very important in how they are perceived. There was this one young lady who was about 20 and who was in the process of having an alter personality installed in her when her parents started to snoop around a little too closely. So we had this young lady, while in a trance state, write a hateful letter to her entire family. The pretext we used was for her to write down all of her negative things she felt about her family, but was too afraid under normal circumstances to say. We told her that this would help her unburden herself from the unwanted hate within her. We obviously, or most of us anyway, don't want hate in our lives or to be seen as hateful. What we kept from her, however, was that we were saving this letter and was mailing it to her family. That way it was in her handwriting and so on. She did wind up becoming a very valuable asset to the agency in the country she was sent to. She was sent to be basically a provocateur. The methods we used were a lot more sinister than that, however. You would be quite surprised at all the mind control going on in our college campuses. I would just caution all the college students, or even those within the ages of 18 to 25, to be careful. If you are in college, be very on guard about these independent groups or classes that are springing up on your campuses, especially the free ones or those that sound too good to be true. The mind control and the brainwashing out there that is actively going on is staggering. The powers to be are not stupid by any means, and know that targeting our young people is a sure way to gain more control than they already have. The best advice I can give is just to trust your instinct, use common sense, and be aware. Hurry.